Big Rig Kids, y'all. Are you ready? Let's go. Here come the Big Rig Kids. Roll with the Big Rig Kids. Let's fire the truck, take you to such amazing places with the Big Rig Kids. Those helpful Big Rig Kids. See how they give and grow and get to know amazing things. Learn with the Big Rig Kids, and you'll see how it is to have adventure days and hang and play with all your friends. Because the Big Rig Kids know what it is to live a most exciting and inviting life is positive.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Grandma's Polly's Conversations, or Conversations with Grandma Polly, whatever floats your boat. But we're going to talk to Grandma Polly. That's what we do here. And we have a very exciting and wonderful guest here tonight that's going to just inspire, motivate, and just endless wonderment is what she's going to bring to the table. But we're going to get into that a little later. But first of all, who is the woman that you all know and love? The one who talks about everything that's going on in the world today. Yes, you know her as Grandma Polly, so please give a warm welcome to Grandma Polly's, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. Hey guys. Good evening and happy Thursday. Thank you, Kenneth, for that wonderful introduction to our audience. We thank you for joining us. We all know how important the village is. And this is a conversation that we've been having, and it's a conversation that I will not stop having, because the village is very important. This evening, I would like to introduce you to a wonderful young lady. This young lady has a love for music. She loves to sing. She's an avid drawer. She's a poet. She's a standout in her classroom and her communities. So I'm not going to prolong this any longer because we want to get into the conversation. You guys, please help us welcome ASALI by giving plenty of hearts. Let's welcome ASALI to the show.
Hi, everyone.
Well,
thank
go
you for
ahead.
having me. I'm ASALI. I'm in the 9th grade. I've known about Big Rig Kids for a few years now. Thank you for having me here.
Awesome, and we're glad that you accepted our invitation to have you here. And it's funny that you say that you've been with the Big Rig Kids for quite a few years now. When I first met you, it was just something about your spirit. You know, I meet kids and you see different sides of them, but there was just something about you and this humanitarian spirit that you had, and you still have. You have helped us volunteer in many different aspects of our program. We have packed bags for the underserved communities. We have packed bags for the men and women shelter. We have fed the homeless. And you being as young as you were, because we've been doing that now for about 5 years, and you're 15 now. So you were about 9 or 10 years old when you started with us. And at that point, it just showed me your character and the kind of person that you are. And not only are you a humanitarian, but you know, you a young lady who danced to the beat of your own drum too. And I'm gonna open up the door and just let you talk to us about some of the things that you have been involved in. I'm gonna mention a few. I know you've been involved in learning golfing. You have your own drum that you know you're playing. And there is just so many other things that you do, but I'm gonna let you tell us some more about yourself, and then we'll come back with the question.
So, I have been with Big Rig Kids for about 5 years now. I enjoy playing the drums. I recently picked up doing poetry. I love singing. Music is probably one of my favorite things to listen to, one of my favorite things to just do. I really love watching movies, as you can see in the background with one of my posters. I did do golfing for a few years. It was an off and on thing, but it was pretty chill when I did it. I'm currently in high school, and I think that a lot of the things I've done with the big rig kids have helped a lot because it allowed me to grow as a person and gave me a chance to experience what it's like to actually do things with the world other than like just being a kid and sitting back and letting the adults handle it, which I think is really good and is something that a lot of people should know that is really fun to do and should be experienced at an early age.
Like that. And thank you for that. Now, we're going to go into this humanitarian community type thing because, as you know, being with me, the village is something that's very important to me because I grew up with a village around me.
I'm gonna go get my laptop and come
And
up here and do it
just
this
from
time.
knowing you and your mom, you have a huge village around you. Can you tell me what are some of the impacts the villages have had in your life?
So I started working with my mom and helping with nonprofits from a young age, probably around 6 or 7. And it's opened up a lot of doors for me. It's allowed me to meet new people and to get experience as to what it's like with like helping other people. And it's also shown me that you don't have to be on the same level as other people to show them kindness, and they don't have to be on the same level as you to receive that kindness or to show that same kindness, which I really find a good thing in people nowadays because it's hard with a lot of people because they don't think that they have to be nice to everybody when really it's just a good thing to do and it's a good quality to have as a person. And I know my mother has helped teach me that a lot and she has impacted that on my life a lot and she's made that quite a big deal for me growing up. So I think because of her and because of a lot of the people around me, I've just become this person where it's like I know that it's right to treat others how they need to be treated rather than how people assume they want to be treated.
Uh, excuse me a second. I just got to chime in and just say, wow. Wow, 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 wow. What an amazing answer that was. You know,
Yeah,
I'm let you get back to the show, but I was just taken aback by this. She's such a lady, man. You know,
yes,
but let's go back. I'm sorry, I just had to put a little two cents in. Toot toot.
yes. I mean, sitting here listening to that comment is like, I missed another accolade about yourself. You have an old soul. I mean, that's awesome. That, oh my God, you kind of got me speechless. Let me go where I was going because that one just threw me all off. But anyway, with that, Asali, I also know I admire a lot of things about you. But the one thing I think that stands out so high for me is that when I see you in the way you dress, you know, you're not into this in crowd thing where, oh, I have to have the crop tops, I have to have this, oh, I have to have that. You dance to the beat of your own drum. And the society that we live in, even when I was growing up, you know, kids would either bully or pick at and tease because you made a choice to be different and try to pressure you in another direction. How do you deal with the peer pressures of today because you're so different?
So I know I can relate to that. In first grade, I got bullied. Don't even know why. I was probably the nicest kid in the classroom. But I think the way I dealt with that was I simply just ignored it and I tried to be as nice as I possibly could. And even though people say kill them with kindness, it doesn't always work, but it works when you try your hardest and it works in the future for you rather than just growing up to be this rude, cruel person when you can be a person who makes people know about how good of a person you are and about how good of a person they can be even if they didn't grow up in a good family or even if they grew up without friends, you just have to be that kind of person that can show them that they are who they want to be and that nobody should tell them otherwise, and that they deserve kindness and they deserve love in their lives, even if they don't think so themselves.
So, in other words, you rebuke peer pressure by being that leader. You set your own standard and you don't bend into other people's thoughts or what they're thinking or what they feel about you because you're so confident within yourself. But you just didn't get this confidence. You from the time I've known you and the way you speak now, it sounds like you were born with it. It really does. It sounds like you came in this world with the confidence that you have. And how would you say I was to put you in a position right now to where there's a group of kids who are dealing with low self-esteem, they're dealing with a lack of confidence. What would be the one main thing that you would say to that group of kids, to help them realize that they're just as important as the next person?
I would tell them to ignore what everybody else says because it's not true, and that they've got this in them and that they can be who they want to be, and that their standards that they've had to been set from other people aren't what they can follow, and that they choose where they want to be in life and that they choose where they can put themselves, and that it's not about what people tell them is right and is wrong to wear or how they look is wrong, because that's not true. Everybody looks their own way, and that can't be controlled. And it's only better to control it by admiring it about yourself rather than putting yourself down about it.
Girl, you are an old soul. I'm going to continue to say that you are an old soul. Now, we've dealt with those things. I want you to tell me a little bit because, like I said, you're completely different. And I admire that because and I hadn't even met you when I started writing these books. But when I started writing them, and now that that I've got to work with you and I got to know you, God had you in mind when He started developing these characters in me because each one of these characters have their own uniqueness, and they have their own situations. And this is the message that we try to get out through the books. You are who you are. What other people think about you is none of your business because they're the ones with the problem. I think when I met you, you had blue hair. You had a blue braid.
Yeah,
You
most
did.
likely.
And I admired that in you because you made the choice to stand out and say, this is who I am. Accept me for who I am, or this world is big enough for all of us to live in. You stay on that side and I stay on this side, and it's all still lovely. But now I'm coming back to you because I want to hear about golf. You are breaking stereotypes and a lot of the choices and the things that you do. And that was the purpose of my characters, too, breaking these stereotypes that society has put on people. To be honest with you, you're the first female, child, or woman that I've ever known to step out and say, hey, I'm going to get into this golf game. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I started golf around when I was probably like 7, and I didn't want to do it, but my mom kept pushing me to do it, and so I stuck with it for a bit, and it was an off and on thing. And so I'm still trying to figure out if I want to continue doing it or not because it has a lot of good qualities if I were to do it. But at the same time, it's something that I think if I were to stick with, it would be more of a side thing rather than just this main sport that I'm sticking with, because it's great and it has amazing qualities to it. And like if you ever get the chance to learn, you should take it up because it's something that a lot of kids and a lot of women need to learn. especially for when getting older and like having business talks, because a lot of businessmen like going golfing for some reason. But like it's just this thing where it can be an open door for you and you don't even know it until you try it.
Cool. It sounds like I need to get out there on the golf course. Meet some of these business people, you know? Here, you are educating me tonight. Now, I know you've done golf. Tell me about the drum.
So I started drumming very recently actually. Last year in June, I went to a band camp, and my main focus on what I wanted to do was singing, but then I realized that they had drums, and I got really, really excited because drums were an instrument that I've been thinking about doing for a while, and I just never kind of committed to it because we didn't have a drum set and we didn't really know anybody who could teach me drums. And then I did the camp. And I did the first week and the second week, and they came in the middle of the second week. I told my mom that I was a natural drummer, and ended up giving us the drum set. So now I am currently working on making my own song with my friend's help, and I've already learned one song on the drums.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. And I'm sitting here, I'm listening, right? And you coming from a single parent home who's not a millionaire, just a regular mom, just like the rest of us are, you know? And it sounds like your mom has invested a lot, a lot of time into you when you know you have parents who, especially when they have boys, when a baby is born and it's a little boy, oh, we have our football player. We just gave birth to our basketball player. But I'm sitting here listening to you, you know, talk. And these are just a couple of the things that you have been involved in. I've seen a lot of things that you've been involved in. But tell us some more about some of the other things that you get involved in because all these things are building character and it shows in you. It really does show. So tell us about some of the other things that you have gotten involved in, whether it was for a little while or a long while or that. But I just want to know some of the other things that your mom kind of pushed you into.
So, this is 100% because of my mom, because if I never went to the school I'm currently going to, I probably wouldn't have ever thought about this. I recently got into poetry last month, and so far I have made about 7 or 8 poems. All of them my English teacher read over most of them, and she absolutely loves them. And I think poetry is just a good way for me to get out emotions, like especially when I'm like stressed or angry. It's just a good way to be able to write something down and put it into words and be able to feel like, okay, this is how I'm feeling right now. This is how my emotions are talking to me. What do I do to fix it, or what do I do to calm it down? And I think poetry is just a good way of giving off steam, rather than directing anger towards a person or towards a thing that the anger shouldn't be directed towards. It's going towards something where I can get out my emotions in words and I know what I'm doing when I'm saying it, rather than just going on a rant to somebody about something that's probably over something really small, and blaming them or ending out like messing up a friendship because somebody got angry or I got angry at the wrong person and there was a mix up about it. So I think it's just really amazing how things can be started and changed because of just one simple change that happens in life.
Stop the press. I'm coming in. I am coming in. I have to say that coming from a generation, our generation where kids were seen and not heard, I wrote a ton of poetry. I've actually written a book myself, and I just want to piggyback off of everything that you're saying. I felt that as a kid, you know. You don't want to be angry at people, but you do have to get those feelings out, even if you just write them down. So kudos to you, and I like how you just broke everything down and elaborated how a thing can change any second. You know, if you're caught in that anger, how it can just, you and a person who are friends can be totally against each other in that 1 second because of anger, you know? And but if you just put it down on paper and then beat some drums to it, you know what I'm saying? Then you got yourself a song. How about that? Oh,
ASALI, tonight
she's
I make
amazing,
this
man.
promise to you. Once you get 20 to 25 poems done, I'm going to help you put it in a book. You're going to publish it.
Oh, that would be amazing. Thank you.
I'm gonna help
And
you too with that.
you can write as many as you want. But once you get to 20 or 25 of them, we're going to start the publishing process with that.
Thank you.
I mean, you're
It's
just
so
amazing.
it's
Say
so funny you
again?
say that because my friend today was reading one of my poems that I'd written for a teacher, and he was like, "Okay, so are you gonna like write a book when you're older or what?" And I was like, maybe." And I like thought about writing stuff because I also really enjoy writing, and like this opportunity is just something that doesn't really happen to people often, and I'm really thankful for. So thank you.
Oh, you got it, baby.
Yeah.
We are definitely on this. And this is, you know me, but me, once, you're the right person for me to help right now. But I want to challenge everybody out there. We have kids out there who are getting into trouble, and I'm going in this direction. It kind of deviated a little bit, but I'm going in this direction because of what you said. You said that you write, you put it on paper, because we could react in a wrong way, and just one wrong choice could change our lives forever. And we have kids out here who are feeling this way, but they're not blessed in the way that you are, that who has a mom and a village around you, to encourage you to go down that right path. A lot of these kids get shoved to the side, oh, he or she is troubled, or this, that, or whatever. And I'm always challenging adults. You find a troubled child, reach out to them. Maybe just your one kind word to them may help them, be able to turn around and say, I finally found someone who cares. But when we write them off, then they just continue to go down that road that they're going down, which is not a good road. So I challenge parents out there, and I'm quite sure as you grow, because you do it now, you're kind to others, you reach out to others. You will get into other people's space to help them make a difference. And I like that about you. But yeah, we're going to get your poetry book done, and I love it. So we done covered the singing, the drummer, the poet, the golf. What else is there about you?
So my mom actually got me into this. We help out with a nonprofit organization and it's called Hope Match. You might have heard of them. They're pretty big around Charlotte. They help the working poor and I really, really love helping them because like around Christmas time, back to school time, they'll wrap presents for the family. They nominate families. They'll give meals to the family and all just to make their days just a little better if they can. And I really admire seeing people who think that that's just the right thing to do because it is. So I started helping out with them a few years ago. I would watch the director's kid, or I would just do runs for them to help the kids or to help them get what they need. I would tell people what they need to pack. big advocate on talking about them. Like if anybody were to ask me, I would give them a breakdown almost immediately as to what it is. I think that is also a big thing as to how I am as a person now. Really helpful in making me how I am. They're the reason why I'm so interested in helping people. Um, and of course, my mother is a big influence. She always advocates for doing what's right, always advocates for being a good person, even when it doesn't seem right. And I think that was just a big help too, because it gave me a push in the direction that a lot of kids don't get to see from their parents because they'll either have their parents arguing or their parents just pushing them aside because they might have more siblings. Or even if they're just an only child, their parents might always be working. And I think it's sweet that my mother bothered to take time out of her day and of her money just to help me so I go into the right path as a person, opposed to being a troubled kid or a kid who was outcasted or just seen as like this quiet kid or this annoying kid. And I think that that's a really big goal that a lot of parents should be reaching for rather than just saying, oh, my kid's going to do this or my kid's going to do that. I think they should see what their kid wants to do and then help push them in that direction rather than just assuming that that's what their kid is going to do. And I think that my mother has made that an amazing lesson, and I think places like Hope Match also make that an amazing lesson by helping kids and by giving the parents what they need to help their kids or to help them just get through the day so that they can spend more time with their kids or so that they have money to spend on their kids or so that their kids just have gifts for things. And I think it's just an overall sweet thing that a lot of parents need to learn and that the ones that do know it should show their kids more often.
Girl, look, you messing with me now. Ooh, you messing with me, but I'm feeling you on that, and I get it when you say this. Back during the holidays, we had a organization. You know, I moved to Atlanta, so I'm just getting my feet wet here now. But back through during the holidays, it was an organization that was sponsoring single mothers with children during the holidays, and they created this list, and at that point they had already cut the list off, and they had another family that came in afterwards, and it was just so sad. This particular family, the boy's mother was murdered by their father, so they ended up with their grandmother. And I was like, hey, wait a minute, give me that family. So me, a couple of businesses, and some friends got together, and I was telling my husband, I mean, it's so much that you say that I can relate to, because I was telling my husband, I said, it's the holidays. Gifts are not going to bring these children's mom back. Gifts is not going to bring this grandmother's daughter back, let alone the grandmother don't even have a real time to grieve, because now she's inherited these three young kids. Her daughter's dead, the dad's gone to prison, and now here she is starting her life all over again. And it's just like you said, it's not, for me, it wasn't going to bring the daughter back. But just at that moment, to be able to fill their holiday gift list, knowing that they would have a smile on their face just for, even if it was just for that moment, it brought me joy. I was overjoyed. And I'm hearing you being the age that you are. You're younger than my first two oldest grandchildren. I have a granddaughter your age. But to hear you speak this way, Asali, there has to be some type of God, some type of spirituality. And I know your mom has implanted this in you. So I want you to tell me about that part too, because a lot of adults don't even think the way you just spoke. So let's go into your God, your spirituality part of it, because it is of God in the things that you do.
So my mom, we are Christian, and we used to go to Freedom House, but that changed after COVID. So now we're just hopping around churches a bit, and one of the churches that Hope Match ended up helping out was at Next Level, and me and my mom have formed a really deep connection with that church because they fix cars for single mothers. And I find that really, really sweet and just a really good thing to do as a person, especially with the struggle of just being a single parent in general. It's hard because you're trying to grow this amazing kid, but here you are, you might be struggling yourself to just meet ends meet. And so I think that church was a big inspiration for us. We ended up going there. We currently go to a church called The Place, which is run by a few of my mom's friends, and they do really big things. We recently helped, I think it was 2 weekends ago, we recently helped by setting out things for the homeless, and they had a big truck, and it had showers in it, and it had a washing machine and a dryer set up in the back, and we gave them food. We gave them just needed toiletries, and we just helped them out. And I think that if my mom didn't think to get connected with that church, or if she didn't introduce me to that church, that I wouldn't have ever gotten to experience that. And I think that's just a really good thing that people don't often see connected with like certain places, because it's just like, oh, well, this is just about this and only about this, when it's not. And when you can change things about that, then I feel like you should, and you should make a change if you possibly can.
All right then. See, I knew there was a connection there. It wasn't just this little beautiful baby girl was born into this world and then mom developed her into, this person who I think she should be. There is a spirituality and some God there. And I like that because it shows you are a person, your light shines so bright. But I want you to know at this moment, your light hasn't even started to shine yet. This is only the beginning. This is the beginning for you. You know, young, beautiful, well spoken, well versed, because, I know that your mom has put you in a situation where you're so well versed, but not only are you well versed, you have a lot of culture there. And not only your culture, because you have been exposed to so many other cultures. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I have been going to a lot of very diverse schools basically since I was really little. And I think that that and the fact that I was never really sheltered to the point where it's just like, oh, well, you should only follow this culture and nothing else. I was very taught to be very open about other people's opinions on things, and that everybody has their own way of life, and that that doesn't make them wrong just because they're different from me, and that just gives me a chance to grow more as a person by learning how they live and how they do things, rather than, oh, well, your way is wrong because I do this. And I think that that's been a big impact on me, because a lot of the things I do now are more of based on rather what I would like to do, or rather what me and my friends would like to do, rather than what is good for my culture or what seems culturally sound to do. So it's just like this big opening where it's just like a lot of parents don't teach their kids that, to the point where I think that a lot of parents really should be teaching their kids that cultural diversity is a very important thing to learn, especially at a younger age, because that is when kids are developing the most, and that is when they need to know what is right and what is wrong. And being culturally diverse is a really good thing to have as a child, and it's a really good quality, because you see these things where it's like, oh yeah, well, kids are friends with like these people now and these people now, and I don't like it, and I think that they're going against me. But it's not that. It's the fact that those parents taught their kids, oh, well, you have to do this. And those kids are being defiant, because that is what kids do when they want to go against something. And so I think that parents really need to teach kids more about how cultural differences are, and that they're not bad. They're just things that can be learned about, and that they are different, but it's not bad that they're different. It's good because that means that we have a more diverse world, and that people differ from each other, and that nobody is the same as you.
You make me have to catch my breath after each one. But even when it comes down to the cultural differences, when we talk about culture, there were times when I would hear, um, in my early 20s, I had females that were the same age as me who were from the Caucasian background, but they would always come into our culture, into the things that we were doing. And I would hear people say, oh, that white girl trying to be black, or this black girl here trying to be white. And when I look at it, we're all human, we're all the same. You take the pigmentation away, and we're all pink on the inside with blood and muscle and veins and all of that stuff. But when we shun away from the culture, and I believe that that's the reason, this is the reason why we have so many wrongs that are being done today. Because the different cultures won't take a moment to get to know the other person's culture. Even with us as black people, there are so many
Had to
there
give
are
you that.
so many different cultures amongst us, just even when it comes down to skin color. We say you got your Jamaicans, you have your Haitians, you have your Puerto Ricans. You just here in the United States, you got your Southerners, you have your country Southerners. You have, oh, we're from up north, so we're so much intelligent and we speak so much better than you guys do. And now we go down south and y'all speak this thing they call Gullah Geechee or Yurageechee. So we're divided in so many different cultures, not only just by skin color, but cultures. I went out west for the first time and I wanted grit because I grew up in the south. I could not find grits. And the lady was like, oh, we got these instant packs that you can pour water. That's not grits. That's garbage to me. I'm used to my grits being cooked on the stove.
Oh boy.
And then the different cultures. Now I go out west and find potato anywhere. Baked potato, mashed potato, chopped up potatoes. Because that's the culture that these people live in. So until we start to learn the different cultures and start to accept the different cultures, I don't feel like this world will be much of a change. We'll go and try some Chinese food, or we'll even go and try some Jamaican food. But it depends on certain things. I saw this place out in California. They had this thing called Korean fried chicken. And I never heard of it, never knew what it was. But when I tried it, it was something that I loved. So even when it comes down to our food, the way we eat as a people in different cultures, we prepare things differently. But at the same time, we're all eating the same thing. You
So
know, go ahead.
so is that the reason why Sinitra McDuffie learned to make grits because of you, ASALI?
Uh, Probably. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and you
Because I
got.
do. Go
I
ahead.
just I want to thank everybody for their comments, man. There's some amazing comments coming in. Um, Jackie Singleton, Sinitra McDuffie, Samantha Cole, so many. Flora Priest Lewis, so many wonderful comments about you too. I thought this was a exceptional one right here. See that? I must say, if we as adults don't know how to be open minded, we are receiving firsthand tonight from ASALI. That's
Give her a
awesome.
hand. Give that baby a hand. I'm
Yeah.
serious. And that's what it's all about. And
Hold
we
on.
got like,
I
go
got one
ahead.
more I want to share.
Okay.
A lot of people want to make you some grits.
All right.
Those are all my
Oh boy, that's funny.
What did you say, Asali?
all my family.
I
What
can't
is
hear
that?
you.
Okay, go
Say it
ahead.
That's all
again.
my family right there.
Kenny, is she starting to break up or is it just on my end?
No, it might be your end. She said a lot of that
Okay.
is from her family.
Okay. That's cool and that's what's up. I want to give away something tonight. And we're going to continue the conversation. But I'm going to put this out there. There were at least, what, 4 things that we listed or 5 things that we listed that Asali does or something that she likes. The first person, because Kenny, we can't see the comments.
Okay,
The first, I'm on my phone, so you're not going to be able, I can't see it.
I got you.
So I want you to watch the board. The first person, besides Sinitra, who
Oh
can
boy.
tell me how long Asali says that she's been with the Big Rig Kids and list one of Asali's accolades that we talked about. The first person that can put those 2 things in the comment, I have a $10 gift card for you.
All right. That exclude me?
Of course. Of course. How long has Asali been with the Big Rig Kids? And list one of the accolades, one of the things that she has done. The first person put those 2 answers in at one time. It got to be on the same line. I got a $10 gift card for you.
All right.
Yes, and while you're watching that, Kenny,
Mm-hmm.
Asali, you also told me that you have a pet.
I do.
Yeah, wait a minute. Don't say that. Don't say yet. Because this one is hard. This is the second one, Kenny. The first one, somebody has to do that.
Okay.
But the second one, we're not going to talk about Asali's pet yet.
Uh-oh.
Asali has an unusual type of pet.
We have an answer.
What is who?
Carol Simmons says, let me add it to the broadcast. Since she was 9 in poetry.
Yeah, she got one part right, but it's how many years? How long?
Okay. Sorry, Carol.
Carol, how many years?
But while we're waiting for that, Asali, I want to know what your name means.
It's Swahili and it means sweet like honey.
Sweet like honey. All right. Okay, Carol came back with an answer.
What Carol said.
6.
No, Carol.
Huh?
No, she wasn't sick. It wasn't 6.
No, that's how many years she's saying. 6 years.
That's what it was not 6.
Oh, okay. So
Carol, give her one more guess.
Samantha said 6 too.
Nope. Nope.
Huh. Oh, you made her cry.
I said the years and I did too, huh?
You made her cry.
Man, who cried? Carol.
Yeah.
Carol won last time. She'll be all right.
She just said 7.
No, Carol, you ought to guess.
Oh.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. Yeah, she says. Sinitra McDuffie says, "I know, I know, I know."
No, Tanika, no, Tanika, no, Tanika.
Oh boy.
Okay, nobody got that card because we got to move on to the next question.
Okay.
It's a very unusual pet. Anybody want to take a guess at that?
Mama, you can't guess what it is.
She knows she can't.
Is the pet name number 8?
We don't move on from that question. Nobody won. We go to the pet. The answer to the question was, tell them, Asali.
I've been with bigger
Not
kids
the
for about
animal. How
5
many
years.
years? Yes.
Yep, 5 years.
She
Okay,
said that in
I
her
have
opening.
I have one for the pet.
Who? Not who, but what they said.
I'm gonna show you.
We can't see it.
You can't see that? No.
I can only see it when I'm on my computer. I'm on
Oh, okay. Lizard.
He doesn't
Who
count.
said listen?
He doesn't count.
Errol
He knows me
Daniels.
too well. He doesn't count.
Errol Daniels.
That's your dad.
Yep.
He don't count. Daddy, you can't.
Oh boy.
Now you make us gotta come up with another question.
Well, Carol Simmons said Geico. Oh boy.
Oh, God. Dad done gave the answer away. We gotta come up with something else. Oh,
I think
have one.
Kenji got a word for you too, Asali. She said
Hi, Aunt Kenji.
she's so proud of you.
Aww.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, y'all get ready. Asali is going to tell us about her pet lizard, and I'm going to come back with another question tonight because I got to get rid of this $10 card.
It's a bearded dragon.
It is not a bearded dragon. It is actually quite close to a bearded dragon. I have a crested gecko. We recently got him. He's a baby. His name is Bruno. He's very cute. He is very, very fast.
Bruno, like in
He's
Mars.
about... Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. He's very, very tiny and very, very fast. But he's really cute, and we recently got him.
Okay, why a lizard though?
So we went to Petco, and I saw a leopard gecko, and I was like, ooh, look, leopard gecko. And I don't even remember why we went to Petco, but we were there that day, and my mom was like, you can clean your room and keep it clean in this amount of time by Valentine's Day, then you can get a lizard. And I did it, and so we ended up getting a crested gecko because we couldn't find a good priced leopard gecko. And I'm really happy about that.
Cool.
Okay, see? This is what I say. Asali, I mean, she moves to the beat of her own drum.
No pun intended as she plays the drums.
Say again, Kenny?
No pun intended as she plays the drums.
Right, but when I say she moves to the beat, I mean, she does not mind being different. Like a lot of people, you know, they have to fit in or this girl creates her own her. And I love that about you. Okay, so now we've dealt with the lizard. Do you have any other pets? What's your other pet?
I had a hermit crab. His shell is over here somewhere. I don't know where it is. His name was Dylan. He passed a few years ago, but he was probably one of the pets that got me on loving reptiles, which is really weird to say because he was a hermit crab. But he was really sweet. He didn't really do much, but he was cute.
Okay.
Oh, so you get those kind of pets that you don't have to walk.
Yep.
And maintenance is next to nil.
I'm there. I'm right there with you, girl. I see you. Me and you right there. I'm with you. I love pets, but I don't want none that I have to walk or take care of. I watch other people's dogs from a distance or whatever. But yeah. So because we have like 8 minutes left, um, I'm going to ask a question, and one day, whilst they're trying to answer that question, I'm gonna come back with a question for you, Asali, and then we'll kind of wind it down. Um, if it well, some of you out there have the book. I'm going to throw a character name out there. Or should I throw a character name, or should I let them tell? No, because if I tell them, tell me how many characters, somebody might grab a book and start counting. Um, I'm going to describe a character. I am Hispanic. I have sickle cell anemia. I sometimes wear braces on my legs, and I sometimes walk with a crutch. The first person to put that character name in the comments will get that $10 card that I'm giving away tonight. Now I'm coming back to you, Asali, because I know you have read the books and you've always told me how much you love the books. Can you tell me who was your favorite character in the book?
Um, it was probably Caden
Why?
because I feel like because he seems like such a simple person, but there's like so much more depth to him than what people really see on the outside, and I feel like I relate to that a lot because like a lot of people will just like look at a person and say, "Oh, well they wear this, so they have this personality," but it's really not like that. It's like such a more complex person on the inside than what people are actually seeing on the outside.
Ooh, girl, hold that thought right there. I gotta get him because I got a story about him.
We have an answer.
What they said?
We have an answer. I'm
What they
putting it in the
said?
broadcast. Sasha.
No, ain't nobody gonna win this card tonight.
Oh,
Well, while they still trying to answer, Kenny, this is who you're talking about, Asali.
Yes.
Caden.
And this is Caden. And I'm going to tell you guys why I created Caden the way I did. In all of my characters, I wanted to dispel myths. But with him, I wanted Caden to be this little dark skinned boy because we get caught up so much in colorism that the darker the person is, they're not cute, they're not handsome, they look different, and a lot of times they get mistreated. But on the same note, I made Caden a reader because so many times I hear that black men don't read. I also made Caden a leader because the news media only show us the 1% out there that's creating chaos in the streets. And I also made him a builder because when we look at society, who's building the houses? Who's doing all the construction work? All those things. So I want all our little black boys to know that they are just as beautiful and they are capable and they could do whatever it is that they want to do when they put their mind to it. And we have a sign on our website too that says I could do anything when I put my mind to it. And that's why Caden was created the way Caden was created. And people always ask me, why you made him so dark? Why not? There's dark people in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And they're beautiful. So nobody told me who's the young lady with the braces yet,
I
the
know.
leg braces. I know you know. Nobody out there answered that question.
I'm gonna give him a hint. I'm gonna give him a little hint. There's a song
Okay.
named after her.
Okay. Yeah.
Think Carlos Santana.
Okay. I'm gonna give one more hint, and this is the last hint. It's a Hispanic name, but it's also used in in the black culture, the white culture, and everybody else. And it starts with an M.
Yep. Oh, somebody just guessed it.
Who said it?
Uh, Taxmaster?
Okay, I'm gonna have to
Sinitra?
get
Taxmasters, then Sinitra McDuffie said it.
Tanisha. We gonna ban you.
But the Taxmaster said it first.
Okay,
They came through first, Sinitra, and then your dad came through too.
Tanisha, you gonna be able to guess. I guess next week. But today, your daughter on here. You cannot do that with your daughter here. So, Tax Master Kenny,
Yeah, Taxmasters.
I need them to inbox me so that I can get their gift to them.
Okay.
So, yes, this is what we're doing. We're going to change the format. Well, we have changed the format of the show a lot. But as we go through, we're talking to these kids and tonight y'all met Caden. Remember that. Remember, you met Caden because as we go through each week, I may introduce a new character.
All right.
But you'll never know when I'm giving away a gift card. And you got to be in it to win it.
There you
So
go.
show up, tell your friend. You know, y'all see Asali. So Asali is on it. Y'all know any other kids out there who are doing great things? We're looking for kids. We want to highlight them. The news is not going to do it. So we do that. Put them in contact with us. And the week where we don't find a child, we may bring in an adult on to talk about a family situation because we deal with families and children. But I prefer the children because y'all see Asali is wise so many years above beyond herself. And I'm going to ask you, Asali, to this is closing for you. Whatever you want to say, you have the floor.
Thank you everybody who came to watch. Thank you to my family who also came to watch. If you guys take away anything from this, it's that kids are yeah, kids are seen as less than what they have to show, and I think that that really needs to be brought out, and that parents really need to recognize more that their kids are really talented, and that just because they don't see it yet doesn't mean that it's not going to happen in the future. I hope everybody realizes that there are cultural differences and that people do change, and that your idea of what you want your kid to be isn't what they want to be, and so you shouldn't force it on them because that's only going to cause issues for both of you in the long run. And I wanted to thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Yes.
Do you have anything you want to say before I close it out?
Yes, Asali, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your beauty, your grace, your genius, all of the above. I'm checking all the boxes, right? It's too many. It's too many to
Yes.
mention. It's just too many to mention right now. But you get what I'm saying. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. We are so honored to be in your presence and to be hearing all the wonderful things that you're doing. So, anytime you want to come on back, come on back. All right.
There we go. And me personally, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for joining us tonight. And I'm giving a special thanks to Mrs. Solid. Thank you to our sponsors, KJ Multimedia of Marietta, Georgia. Special thanks to TNT Realtor of Marietta, Georgia. Once again, I can't express the importance of the village. Asani has been involved in the community from a very early age, and her love and compassion for others, I mean, it shined here tonight. She has a light that has just started. It's like the sun rising. That's what I see, Asali. The sun is rising, and it haven't even reached its peak yet. You're awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is my reminder. We love highlighting our youths. Come on, y'all, bring them to us between the ages of 8 and 21. We want to talk to them because they're out there doing great things. And there's a lot of them that we don't know. We want to give them this platform to come forward and talk about some of the things that they're doing because Grandma Polly likes to talk. And Grandma Polly likes to talk to her youth because even though Kenny is older than me,
What?
and
What
I
you
love
say?
talking to him, but I
What?
love talking to young people
Oh
because
my God.
I can learn just as much from the young people as they can from me. You know, we all can learn from each other. So please contact us through social media. Follow us on social media. And we look forward to seeing you guys again next Thursday from 7 to 8. You'll be surprised who the next guest is. So come on back and join us.
And Renee's older than me, guys. So don't let that go. She is much older than me. I'm her younger brother. I should be on the show as a like a Sally. I should be her guest. That's how young I am.
And you said, okay, I was with you when you said that I was older than you. But you hurt my feelings when you say I'm much older than you.
Oh boy.
No more pound cakes for you, brother.
Oh boy.
All right, guys. Thank y'all. Have a good night. Love
Good
you
night,
guys.
everybody. Love you.
Bye, everybody.
Here come the big rig kids, roll with the big rig kids. The Sapphire attracted you to such amazing places with the big rig kids. Those helpful big rig kids, see how they give and grow and get to know amazing things. We're with the big rig kids, and you see how it is to have adventure days and hang and play with all your friends. Because the big rig kids know what